So I'm Trudy. I am known to many of you as One Grounded Angel, and this is my weekly angel card reading video. This is for the week beginning the 28th of January through to the 3rd of February 2019. Just starting to get used to that whole 2019 thing. It's taken a while. So let's start with the 28th, the Monday. I'll start shuffling. Okay, that didn't go well. Sometimes I'll start with a particular card deck in mind, and the computer says no, so I pick another one. It's sort of intuition that guides me, and there's an energy around the card deck, and I'll go, that doesn't feel quite right, and then it will take ages for a card to come up, and they'll go everywhere, and you just know. So Monday, relationship. So this comes from a general card deck. It's not from a relationship specific card deck, but it is talking about, in this case, romantic relationships in the context of your own relationship with yourself, which, as you may know if you've watched my videos for a while, every single relationship you have, significant one, comes back to your relationship with yourself. It is a mirror. So what I love about this card is how this angel is coming out of the woods. Sorry if I've just given you some Taylor Swift earworms there. And into the light. So it's for those of you who have been having a struggle in your relationship or going through some challenges, it's telling you that you're coming into the light now. So things are going to get better. And as I always have to remind you, that is dependent on you doing what you need to do. Maybe you need to start up a conversation and stop avoiding whatever you're avoiding talking about. Maybe you need to do that. Maybe you need to be leaning in more instead of trying to pull back and protect yourself, which just doesn't work in a relationship, because the nature of a relationship is it will keep evolving and becoming deeper, and that depends on you being vulnerable. So self-protection is just not, I could even say it's corrosive to a relationship, in fact. So, and if you are struggling with a relationship because you're trying to protect yourself, that's something energy healing can really help with. So now if you aren't in a relationship, this is still a hopeful message for you, because it's telling you you're moving to a space where you're going to be better able to attract that relationship. So it comes back to the work you're doing on yourself to prepare yourself for a relationship. How are you getting yourself ready? What work are you doing on yourself to make yourself the best person you can be, the best partner you can be, so you can attract the best partner? And how are you embodying the things that you want to attract? People often talk about wanting to, they want a partner with a sense of humour. How much humour is there in your life? What are you doing to make yourself laugh? If you want someone who is caring, how are you caring for yourself? So again, it's about the way your relationship with yourself is. So what else do I need to tell you of this? Not really anything. It's just really about whatever problem you're having in your relationship or lack thereof, bringing it back to healing your relationship with yourself, because that really starts that process of healing to external primary relationships too. So if you're in a long-term relationship and you're not having any issues, there's still something you can take from this. What can you do to bring yourselves closer together? Have you been kind of leaving your relationship as last priority because you've been busy with the kids or work or whatever? So really look at nurturing that relationship. It's love is a verb. That Massive Attack song from the 90s had it right. It's something that we need to keep putting energy into, and the best way to do that, of course, is by healing ourselves. That changes the energy around our relationships. So Tuesday, the 29th of January, I have the card for family harmony. So when this card comes up in a personal reading, it is about, I will talk to the person about what's going on in their extended family, or perhaps even their nuclear family, because often it comes up when someone is dealing with something specific. So if that's you, there is some disharmony in your family relationship. This is asking you to do what you can to heal from that. It doesn't mean swallowing the issue and pretending everything's okay to make everybody else more comfortable, which is often what we're pressured to do in families, isn't it? When there's someone difficult, we're just expected to tolerate their behaviour. It's asking what you can do to make peace with the situation. And maybe in some cases that is not spending time with the person. But I'm not going to tell you that. It has to come from you, whatever you need to do to make peace with it. And it could be that it's going back to the past. We had a lot of messages last week actually about healing from the past, so it may be that this is tying into that. So if you don't have any problems with your family, it could be about what could you do to spend more time with your family and enhance those connections. If you live far away from your family, as I do, it's not easy, but we do tend to get into our little bubble of focusing on what's around us instead of reaching outwards. So maybe some quality Skype time if that's your only option. But think about what you can be doing to deepen those connections. And for some of you who have difficult relationships with your family, this could equally apply to your family of choice rather than your family of origin. And for those of you who any sort of bridge building is just not an option because there's too much that's happened, the wounding is too great, maybe that is the message for you. Look at what you can do personally for yourself to heal from that stuff rather than looking at it from the context of the other people. Where are you hurting and how can you move through that? Wednesday. Oh, okay. A weird thing just happened. I don't think you guys could see it, but a card sort of jumped outward and was pushing out. And I thought it didn't really look prominent enough and I disregarded it and kept shuffling and then the card sort of went everywhere. So I think that might be an indicator it was right the first time. Heart chakra. So this is so appropriate when we've been talking about primary relationships and family relationships. We come back to blocks around our heart. So chakras, I have to keep repeating this because some of you don't know. They are energy centers in our energy field, and our life force energy, our prana, our chi, whatever you want to call it, kundalini, will flow through that. If one of those energy centers is out of balance or it's blocked, the energy just isn't going to flow as well, and that will adversely affect your well-being and your energy, your emotions, etc. So the heart chakra is the fourth chakra, and it is the one concerned with the way we give and receive love. Remember, we need to be able to do both. Love is a verb. We don't just give it and we don't just take it. We need to be able to push it in both directions so that it expands, that it needs to flow. So the main obstacles, I guess, to the heart being able to expand are grief and loss. So I'm sure I don't need to talk to you about grief. It's probably fairly self-evident the way that does shut you off. It's a very isolating experience. It's a very long journey and it's not linear. You go in and out of it. But it does tend to make you want to put up walls around your heart because your heart has been so hurt that the natural instinct is, I don't want to go through this ever again. And it's the same deal with loss in terms of where there hasn't been a bereavement, but like a heartbreak, you've been dumped, divorce, etc. Or even if you've had a parent leave the family or something like that has happened. This is asking you to address where your heart is blocked, where your heart is not giving and receiving love more fully, and why not. If it doesn't come back to a specific trauma that you can name, it could be that some more excavation work is required. Energy healing is really good for this, but if you feel like it's not associated to any particular event, and it doesn't feel like an energetic block, and sometimes we do, this has been a trigger for me. I've had a lot of energetic blocks around my heart without traumas that I could specifically even identify. And through energy healing, I did kind of come to understand that some things had happened that I had not understood the magnitude of, but also past life, big deal. And I do talk about reincarnation and past lives a lot on this, but I don't want to go into it too deep because some people are just not open to it. But chances are, if you're watching this, you probably are fairly open-minded, so maybe I could go down that road. But sometimes we do carry energies from the past we can't identify, we don't know why it's happened, and they change, they leave an energetic imprint in our energy field, and they change the way we show up for life. So that could be showing up for some of you in terms of why you feel like you need to hold people at bay, or you feel like you can't trust people and you don't even know why. It's not like you've been cheated on or anything like that. But you don't always need to know the cause, by the way. as I say, with energy healing, I knew past life stuff had to have been the cause because we couldn't find anything in this, or a great deal of stuff in this life. But you can heal it without knowing what it was. So, and if it's something like grief, it's just going to take time. That's the main thing. But we can always, no matter what's happened, or if we don't know what's happened, we can always be looking at the ways we can improve our ability, our capacity to give and receive love. And often it does come back to looking at those blocks, and even if you don't know why they're there, how can I heal from those? For some of you, it might be about seeking out a counsellor or something. It depends really where you're at. But are you pulling back when someone offers to help you? Are you, are you reluctant to offer to say you're the one who always disappears when it's your turn to give something? I don't know, like do a favour at the local kinder or whatever. Yeah, those sorts of things where we're not, things aren't equal, where we're not sharing and other people are. We really have to look at why we are worried about the loss, why we feel like giving love would be a loss there, why we feel like that would be dangerous. I've talked too long about this. Let's move on. Thursday, intention. So I'm all about intentions. We need to set very clear intentions on what we want instead of sitting around and hoping it will show up. And intentions are sort of a form of prayer, if you like. You are setting an intention to the universe when you say, I want to get this job, or whatever it is that you want, whatever your goal is. Sometimes people worry that when they set an intention that it might be interrupting or interfering with what the universe might have in mind for them. Two things I would say to that. One, it doesn't really matter. If it's not right for you, it just won't happen. And so there's no reason not to shoot for it anyway, because often it's in the pursuit of that goal that we learn something. And secondly, you can always say, this is my intention, and tack this little phrase on the end of it, if it is for my highest and greatest good. That doesn't affect the way the universe sends energy to support you. It just affects how committed you are to it. Because if we are shooting for something and we secretly think we can't really have it, that it's not going to happen, we're not fully committed, we're not energetically committed to that goal, and it's probably not going to happen too well, if at all. So that's something I would say around intentions. But ultimately this card is just kind of trying to say, hey, you've got the ability to make things happen in your life. Work with the energy, the universe. It's a co-creation. It's a partnership. The universe doesn't give you everything. You don't make everything happen on your own. We work together, and it starts with you setting the intentions of what you want. So look at what you're aiming for. Set goals. If you're someone who's never set goals before, maybe there's some work to do in terms of looking at why that is or why not. Are there self-worth issues around you feeling like you don't deserve? That's an extreme example, but is it something around you're scared that nothing ever works out for you, or self-protection stuff? Again, self-protection is a big thing. We try to keep ourselves safe, which is perfectly human, but sometimes the ways we try to keep ourselves safe keep the good things at bay as well. So, and there can be all sorts of reasons for that. Again, past life traumas, and yeah, anyway. Keeping yourself safe is not a bad thing, but you need to look at when you're going too far, and energy healing can help with that. A lot of people really don't feel safe in the world, not in terms of personal safety, but in terms of they don't feel safe to be themselves. They feel like bad things are maybe not inevitable, but certainly likely. Friday, delight. Pretty image here. Looks a bit spring-like, which I think you people in North America will love because you're battling through that cold winter, of flowers blooming and birds taking flight. So it's around it, almost a spring-like energy in terms of us rebirth in a way. When we take note of the things that are happening around us, we notice the beauty. That triggers a really amazing energetic reaction, I guess, in terms of us feeling more abundant, us feeling lighter, and us almost being recreated ourselves. We're almost turning over that not darker, but we're turning over that stress energy and rebirthing into this new energy of, I'm really struggling with words today, delight, I guess, wonder, all that kind of energy of And then you put yourself in the way of trusting the universe. The universe is capable of all this beauty. It's also capable of bringing me good things and helping me recreate my life and transform. Transformation. That was the word I wanted, transformation. Sorry. You would not believe I was a writer, would you? Anyway, let's look at Saturday. It's not even the Mercury retrograde yet, so I can't blame that. That's happening in March, FYI. So Aurora, and it's about, this is a tricky one to explain. It's about keeping yourself uplifted. So I'll just read it for you. I don't personally find this message helpful, but some of you might like it. You are flying high right now, which may threaten others, but don't descend because others will soon become inspired by your example. So the reason I don't find that helpful, because it almost sounds like watch out because people are going to attack you, which I don't think anybody particularly needs to hear. But what I take from this message is keep going. Basically, it's keeping yourself uplifted, keeping moving forward, even if things don't feel like they're going well for you right now. You need to keep moving because it is a slowly evolving process. And don't be afraid to be your best self. Sometimes people worry if they shine too brightly, what will happen? Well, people will judge me, they will cast me out, I'll lose friendships or whatever it is. Whatever you're worried about, try to be wary of that and not let those kind of fears, I guess, or those doubts manifest in you staying safe in your little box where everything's predictable. Let's go to Sunday. I think I need to use this card deck. Yeah, Sunday, 3rd of February. Perhaps I was wrong about this card deck. Okay, we got it. This is my life's purpose, your life's purpose. This right here is my life's purpose, to bring messages to people from the universe that are helpful, that help them live their best lives. Anyway, your life's purpose is up to you. I don't know what it is. I can't tell you. Sometimes people will come to me for a reading on that particular subject and they think that I'm just going to deliver it to them, but it doesn't work like that because it needs to be a process of self-discovery. That is how the answer emerges, and it's a relationship between you and the universe. So what do I need to tell you about your life purpose? I think sometimes this card comes up for people who are doubting that they're on the right track. Don't forget your life purpose isn't necessarily your career. It's okay if your job is just a job. I think for some of you, your life purpose is something else. It's probably more a hobby or a passion or something you do in your spare time than it is your job. So, and it's confirming you're on the right track. And for some of you, they are saying, some of you have been getting ideas about this lately. You may not be on the right track right now, but you have been getting ideas that are leading you in the right direction. Trust those messages, follow them. Our life purpose is something that takes a long time to discover. Even though I know mine now, it's evolving and it will continue to evolve. They're never going to give you the whole picture all in one. So when I started the business, I didn't think I'd be doing these videos because, as I mentioned, I'm not really a great speaker. It's not something that comes easily to me. I thought I'd be writing, and I got led onto this sort of path, and then I got led into energy healing. I didn't expect I'd be doing that. So, you know, things will open up for you, and it's important to just trust in that. Your intuition will always tell you. There's no mistaking that. If you get that call, you know it. You can doubt it, you can second guess it, you can say, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, but it will still be there, and it will continue to knock on your door until you start. People often talk about that in terms of a vocation. It's a calling. It's something that you're here to do. A lot of people, there will be more than one. Raising your children will absolutely be one of it, one strand of it. In terms of, you know, that's something that your soul has decided to do, is, you know, raise human beings to, I guess, I don't know how to put it, but ideally we want every generation to be better than the last. And of course, with our planet in the state that it's in right now, every generation has a huge responsibility, including the ones who are still here, obviously. But if you have chosen to be a parent, you will have felt a call to do that. And it's your responsibility to do that the best that you can in order to help those kids, those young adults, whatever stage they're at, to be the best they can be, to shine their light, to give back, to really develop their interests and their abilities. But as I say, there can be a lot of different things in that, in your life purpose as well. So I can't tell you the answers for that. You've got to figure it out, and it takes time. It's not like you're going to wake up tomorrow and go, I'm supposed to be an actor. Although some of you might, but it is something that will evolve. So I think relationships are the big thing here, and healing of the heart. Those first 3, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, are massive around that. And I think we've got some messages around our goals with the intention and this Aurora message here, staying focused on our goals. That's it for the week. Thank you for watching. I'll put this on my my Instagram each day, and I will also post each card on my Facebook as well. So if you have comments, feel free to leave them. I've changed my settings on Instagram so you can only leave comments if you are a follower, just to kind of lessen my exposure to trolls. Not sure how well it's going to work, but you can also reach me if you need personal guidance on my website, www.onegroundedangel.com. If you want a personal reading, that's the best way to go about it. I do have limited capacity to spend on social media helping people work through personal things. It needs to be in a session, so make a booking if that's where you're at. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.